05 Toyota Highlander, 303,636 on the odometer. Maintenance light is lit up, telling me it is time to change the oil. My Highlander has a V6 3.3 liter engine, and it is the 3MZ FE engine. In the owner's manual, oil capacity 3MZ FE engine with filter 5.0 quarts, and the oil type recommended 5W30. So I have 5 quarts of full synthetic 5W30 oil, and I also have a genuine Toyota filter, the spin-on type 90915 YZZD1. The oil filter is located on the front of the engine below the exhaust manifold. If you see that little bit of orange down there, that's on the handle of a magnetic pickup tool, and that tool is sticking on the end of the filter. And you can get a traditional style oil filter wrench on that filter. See right there, right in the middle? That's the handle of the filter wrench that I have on the filter, the traditional style wrench. I'm gonna crank it up now, let it run for a few minutes just to get that oil warmed up so it'll flow out easier. Now underneath the car, and to give you an idea where I'm at, that is the passenger side front tire, and the oil drain pan is right there, and there's the drain plug. Drain plug is 14 millimeter. And it looks like the crush washer is going to stay stuck on the oil pan. So you need to watch out for that. We're down to a slow drip, and the reason I say to watch out for the crush washer being stuck on there is that I'm going to replace this crush washer with a brand new one. And if I had not noticed that that one was stuck on there, and then I put a new one on top of that, that would have doubled up the washers, and I most likely would have had a leak. Just be careful of that. Make sure the old crush washer comes off. Now I'm going to torque this down to 30 foot-pounds. And do I do it every time? No. If I'm not making a video, do I do it? No. But making a video, I just want to show you the right way to do it, and that's 30 foot-pounds, which is right there. I'll move the oil pan directly underneath the oil filter, and now that wrench that I showed you the handle of, it's still on the filter, so I'm going to turn it to the left a little bit. It shouldn't be too tight, because when I put it on hand tight, and then I used a wrench to go about a quarter turn past hand tight. All right, I'm going to let that oil drain. You can hear it running into the drain pan. All right, that should do it. So here's the old filter. Now with the new filter, there's a plastic seal on it if you get a Toyota one. So make sure you take that off. I have some oil off the old filter. I want to put a thin layer of oil on that O-ring. And speaking of the O-ring, look at the old filter. Make sure that the O-ring is still attached to the filter. Make sure it's not stuck on the engine block. I'm going to take a rag and wipe around where the O-ring is going to set. Make sure there's no debris on that. And now just have to thread the new filter on. And be very careful when you're doing that, because you do not want to cross thread an oil filter. If you do, you are in big trouble. So take your time. And that's it right there. So I'm going to get it hand tight, then I'm going to get the wrench on it and go about a quarter turn past hand tight. And that should be good. Now the 5 quarts of new oil. I'm going to leave just a little bit in the jug, just with the thought that some of the old oil may still be in the engine. And you can see a little bit running on to the lower radiator hose. That's because I started adding the oil too quickly, and that's an aggravating thing about this engine, which is that it accepts oil very slowly. If you get in too much of a hurry, it'll overflow, and you can see that dripping down here. I'm going to start it up, let it run for a while, then shut it off, let it sit, then we'll check the oil. Been sitting for about 5 minutes. I don't know how well you can see that, but we are just a little bit low. I'm going to add the rest of the oil from that jug. And now we should be good. And we are right at the full mark. I'll put links down below to the oil filter that I used, also the crush washers. With the oil filter wrench, you can use a traditional wrench just like you saw me do, or you could also get an oil filter wrench of this style that slides onto the end of the oil filter. That would keep you from having to reach underneath the exhaust manifold. But this one's for a RAV4. It does not fit the filter for the Highlander. And also up here top left, I'll put a link to the video that I made that will show you how to reset the maintenance light. One last thing to do. Check the drain plug for leaks, and we're good. No leaks. Thanks for watching.